Back then, when you mentioned lore, Doom wasn't the first franchise that came to mind. Of course, it always had lore. Any game with a story builds a world with locations, characters, events, and everything that comes with it. But Doom, it was never a game where you felt the need to look for explanations. In this video, we'll go through all the main Doom storylines and examine how they evolved over time. We won't dive into every little detail, but we'll focus on the big picture of each game to see how the narrative has changed throughout the series. Let's start with Doom 1. You're a tough son of a bitch. You refuse an order to shoot civilians, so after breaking your sergeant's face, you get shipped off to Mars for the rest of your life. 3 years pass. The boredom hits harder than all the battles you fought. Then, the portal experiments on those sketchy moons go wrong. Your team is sent to investigate while you stay back to guard the ship. Next thing you know, they're all dead, and you're alone. You can't fly the ship by yourself, so you have no choice but to go in.
That was close. Freedom! Here I come! Fucking piece of... Oh, I hope I have enough money to buy the full game.
Oh, should have known better. It was a trap. You're not dead, but it was a close one. Now you're on Deimos, Mars' second moon, but the base is slowly being consumed by hell itself. There's no way out, so your mission shifts from escaping to stopping the invasion.
Who's a man and a half? I'm a man and a half! Berserker packet man and a half!
Oh shit, a cyber demon the size of a skyscraper. You kill it, but Deimos is floating over hell. No turning back now. You jump in.
Huge guts for me!
You fight your way through and take down the mastermind behind all this.
Take that! And that!
A portal to Earth appears. The end? Or is it? Let's take this all in for a bit, and this is purely from what we could gather from the game itself. We know that Earth has reached the stars. Bases were built on Mars and its 2 moons by the UAC to dispose of toxic waste. The military, being their biggest supplier, uses these bases to experiment with sketchy shit, develop weapons, and test teleportation technology. On the other side, hell is pretty much what we know from the Bible: fire, pain, and demons. The cyber demon and mastermind also raised a major question. How the fuck do they have robot parts? The answer?
Does it fucking matter?
They got technology from the UAC and used it on themselves. Makes sense. So at this point, the only real unanswered question was, what exactly happened to Doomguy's team at the start? Which, yeah, a book eventually covered, but did we really need to know? They got wrecked by demons. What else was there to say? Remember, the focus was all on gameplay, with Carmack pushing to show off his cutting-edge engine, dynamic lighting, varied heights, and just so fucking fluid. What's interesting is that, at first, even Carmack wanted something bigger. His original idea was a seamless world without level transitions, basically an early attempt at open-world design. With that vision in mind, Tom Hall started developing a game document imagining a much more cinematic experience with characters and an overall bigger story. But when he saw the tech wasn't quite there, Carmack decided to scale things back, going for a more classic level-based approach like Wolfenstein, and cutting most of the story to put all the focus on gameplay. But still, we had a plot, some background, and lore. Not just told through text, but also introduced through level design. We had everything we needed. Until Doom 2. Because the first game's ending made one thing clear: hell invaded Earth. And Doomguy, he was fucking pissed. They didn't just kill his family. They killed his pet rabbit, Daisy. So while you were busy tearing the mastermind's brain into oblivion, the demons had already been ordered to attack Earth. Unfortunately, Earth's only ground spaceport has just been taken over by the demons. They've set up a barrier, preventing any ships from landing or taking off. You gotta get back into action. You've reached the starport, but something is wrong. The monsters have warped reality. The place is no longer just a place. It's becoming part of hell itself. You've managed to secure the spaceport, enabling humanity to evacuate Earth. Now, you are the only human left on the planet. That's when you learn that Hell's entry point is near your own hometown. Those fuckers, they're gonna pay.
Don't you want to know why we invaded Earth? No.
After tearing through the demon base, you realize there's no way to shut down the portal from here, so you do what you always do. You've done it, the invasion is over, Earth is saved, hell is a wreck. The end. Or is it? Here, I mean, nothing really changed. Mars and its moons were swapped for Earth, and once again you got thrown back into hell. Simple. But when you really think about it, we went from a personal survival state of, I need to get the fuck out, to a wider, big picture goal of, they need to fuck off. Even the level design reflects this. Doom 1 was much tighter and more enclosed, with a lot of indoor environments, while Doom 2 opened up with bigger, more expansive areas. The shift isn't just in the story, it's in the way the game feels, and that's what makes it so interesting. And maybe the most important takeaway, no matter how much hell gets wrecked, no matter how devastating the blows, it never truly ends. Kill one big demon, and another rises to take its place. Hell can be contained, but never defeated. So while on the surface, Doom 2 seems to just be giving us new demons, a new shotgun, and more levels to wreck through, it actually added more to the lore, but once again it was pushed far behind the gameplay and action. And let's be real, people weren't waiting for Doom 3 because of the story. They wanted to know what new weapons they'd get to use to tear through new demons. But now that Mars is no longer a problem and that Earth is saved, what can possibly go wrong? Well, turns out the UAC decided to nuke their Mars installations with radiation to be sure and very sure that no demons, I repeat, no fucking demons, would survive. So one demon bitch survived. Worse, she absorbed all that radiation and got stronger. Now she's reviving every demon Doomguy killed and rebuilding Hell's forces. Well, and you know what those government assholes did? They looked at this battle-scarred, PTSD-ridden Marine who lost everything, got sent to Mars, was isolated, fought literal demons, came back home to find his family and pet rabbit fucking slaughtered, and said, yeah, let's send him back to Mars to do that all over again. Messed up. So now you're back on Mars, killing demons all over again. This time, they've grown more powerful thanks to the radiation. Bigger, meaner, uglier. You soon uncover a secret the UAC didn't want anyone to find, the Unmaker, a demonic weapon rivaling the BFG in power. After hopping in and out of hell, you take down the mother of demons. But oh no, she had a sister. Oh, never mind, she's dead too. Now in hell, you could escape and return to Earth, but honestly, what's the point? There's nothing left for you. Your family, Daisy, gone. The nightmares never stop, except when you rip and tear, cutting through demons one by one. Every kill means one less monster to take another parent, another lover, another life. So you make the choice to stay in hell and seal the portal, trapping the demons with you. You'll only stop when you die, or when the last demon draws its final breath. Okay, so looking back at those games, my first thought was that the story was basically just there to pretty much give you a reason to tear through demons. And sure, the game isn't exactly narrative driven, but I couldn't stop thinking about how I got drawn into the game the first time I played it. The more I thought about it, the more one question kept coming back. Would Doom have been as popular if it had a different setting? What if it took place in modern times, or if they just made another Wolfenstein with Carmack's new engine? Would it have been as legendary? Well, it's tough, because the engine really was a big deal, and I'm pretty sure it would have been as popular whatever was the thing you were shooting at. But at the same time, I do believe the mix of sci-fi, horror, and demons also played a huge role in its success. Combined with the plot and gameplay, it created a world that really stood out. It was so different from any other game at the time. Doom 2 is a bit trickier, because the original maps are, how do I put it, messy. Sure, they're bigger and you get to pew-pew a lot more enemies, but you really had to imagine really hard that, I don't know, this big rectangle is a skyscraper. Still, the wider maps fit the idea of a game set on Earth during an invasion, with bigger encounters that still felt connected to the world of Doom 1. Doom 64 went back to Doom 1's formula, but placed a stronger emphasis on horror with darker, more unsettling visuals. The UAC-based levels felt repetitive and didn't add much to the world building beyond what we'd already seen in the original game. But the hell levels were where the game truly stood out. They were impressive, leaning heavily into a medieval Gothic style and making hell feel like a completely different realm from what we had previously encountered. On the surface, it seemed like just another port of Doom, with a story that felt tacked on to fill a gap. But in reality, it offered an interesting look at Doomguy's mental state after everything he had been through, his relentless fight against hell, and his ultimate decision to stay and continue the battle. Now in the next video, we'll step into the modern era of Doom. The industry had evolved significantly since the early games, and players were far more interested in deep, cinematic narratives. And with a story as simple as what we were given, the possibilities for expansion seem endless. Yet at the same time, it also means that any future changes will feel far more significant and come with a greater risk of seeming out of place.